Hi sweeties, how are you all doing? In today's tutorial we'll be learning how to make this beautiful corporate two-piece outfit. I made this outfit with a 2.5 years of fabrics. I don't know the name of the fabrics. I saw the fabrics and it felt so good in my hand, so I decided to buy it. So in case you're interested in knowing how I made this beautiful outfit from A to Z, kindly watch this video till end. Thank you so very much, guys. So guys, this is my fabrics. I folded it once. I'll be starting this tutorial with the front part of my trouser, and I'm starting my measurement from 1.5 inches. The 1.5 inches will serve as the band of my trouser. So from that 1.5 inches, I will come down by 9 inches, which is my hip line. I'll be taking all my vertical measurements first. So the second line there is my crotch line. That's my hip divided by 4. My hip circumference divided by 4. I added 1 inch to it. That makes it 11 inches. The third line is my knee length, and the last line will serve as the total length of my trouser. So I'll go ahead and connect all the vertical lines I've taken. After my waistline, the first line here, remember I said is my hip line, followed by my crotch and my knee length and the length of my trouser. So guys, on my hip line, I will take my hip circumference, that's my round hip, which is 40 divided by 4. Then I added 1 inch to it. That makes it 11 inches. So I will take this 11 inches on both my hip line, my crotch line, and my waistline. So on my crotch line, I will take my round lap measurement, which is 24 divided by 2. Then I added 1.5 inches to it. Then from there I created my crotch curve. Can you see my crotch curve? I did it in a way that there will be no bulge at the front of my trouser. So I'll take the same 11 inches on my waistline. So from there I will now measure my round waist measurement, which is 34 divided by 4. Then I added 1 inch to it. So I will go ahead and connect it to my hip line. So the next thing I will do is to divide my crotch line into 2. My crotch line is about 13.5 inches. So I will divide it into 2, then I will have about 6.75 inches. The reason why I have to divide my crotch line into 2 is so that I'll be able to get my round nail measurement and my ankle measurement. My round nail is 17 inches. I added 1 inch to it. That gives me about 18 inches. So I will divide 18 by 2, and that will give me 9 inches. Remember, this material is on fold. So I will now divide the 9 inches by 2, and that will give me 4.5. So I will input 4.5 on the both sides. I will do the same thing around my ankle. My ankle is 12 inches. I added 1 inch. That gives me about 13 inches. So I will divide 13 by 2, and 13 by 2 is 6.5. So I will divide 6.5 by 2. Here I will add half an inch to the 6.5. That will give me 7 inches. Then I will divide 7 inches by 2. That will give me 3.5. So I will put 3.5 on the both sides. So because it's of food, the one on top is 6.5, while the one under will give me 6.5. So that will now make it 13 inches. The same thing goes to my round nail. So after cutting this will now give me one leg of the trouser. Please take notes. So I'll use this front part to cut the back part of my trouser. Can you see what the front look like? Can you see that? So I will fold the back part, then I place this front part on top. So at the hip side, I will measure 1 inch. So this 1 inch will serve as my back dart. I will add that to the back part of my trouser. So I will take it to my hip line. Can you see? Just 1 inch. So I will come to the center back. I will go up by 1 inch. Can you see from my center front? So I will connect it to the 1 inch. The back part of the center back of your trouser should be at least 1.5 or 1 inch higher than the front part. So on my crotch curve, I will go out by 1.5 inches. Can you see from where my front crotch curve stopped? I will measure 1.5 inches. And this 1.5 inches will serve as my back crotch curve. So I will connect it. This trouser is going to have a flap. So the zip is going to be at the front part. It's a complete corporate trouser. So it's going to have a flap at the front. So I will now take the 1 inch, the 1.5 inches down. That's for the back part of my trouser. I'll measure 1.5 inches from where the front part stopped. So I'll add additional 1.5 inches to it. Can you see that? So I'll go ahead and cut it out. I just place the front part on top of the back part. So the only difference is just the center back and the crotch. The extension, the crotch extension for the back part of my trouser, and then 1 inch dart at the hip side. Remember, the center back is higher than the front, than the center front. Can you see what it looks like? So this is the front, this is the back part of my trouser. I've removed the front part. So I'll go ahead and fold the back part into 2, then I will make a notch for my dart. So this is the front part. At the center front, I came down by 3/4 inch. Then I'll connect it to the hip side. That's my front loop. Okay, see what I'm doing. So the next thing I will do is to measure 6.5 inches from my waist. This is the front part of my trouser. 6.5. I want to create the part where I will stitch my flap. So I measure 6.5 inches down. So I will make a cut there about 1/2 inch cut. Please just watch what I'm going to do, how I'm going to create my flap. This is very, very important for anyone that wants to know how to make a corporate trouser. Can you see? I came down by 6.5 inches from my waistline. So the next thing I will do is to fold it in. I'm folding the left one. That is the part where I'm going to stitch the zip and the flap. So that is the part I'm going to fold, and that is the left part of my trouser. So I will only stitch the right part, which is this one I'm having here. I will stitch it to the trouser, then I will top stitch on it, then turn it inside. So the right one I folded it, the left one I folded it into two, and that is the main flap. So this one right here is the left part. So I will iron it very well. If it was for men, the flap will be on the right side, but this is a female trouser I'm sewing. Please take note of this. Can you see? It's on fold. So I will stitch my zip on it. After stitching the zip, I will now stitch the trouser. Can you see that? Can you see how I placed it? Can you see what it looked like? So this is the left part of my trouser. I stitch it from inside so that it doesn't show at the front. So I will now pick the left side. Please watch carefully. I will stitch on it. Then I stop stitching. Can you see what the right part look like? So the next thing I will do is to place them together, the right parts facing each other. So I will now stitch it from under
just right around the crotch area. I will not start the sewing from the crotch, from the beginning of the crotch. I will start somewhere around the middle. So I will now stitch it to the part where my zip stops. That's 6.5 inches from my waistline. So that's where I'm going to stop. Where my zip stop is where I'm going to stop. Can you see? Just right under here. So I will pin it. Then after pinning it, I will show you what it looked like before I will now go to the machine and stitch it. So this is the wrong side. I'll flip it to the right side. Can you see? So now the right part of the trouser is now covering the flap at the left, and the zip, you see, is now on top. Can you see what it looked like? Please take note. If your sewing didn't come out this way, that means you didn't get it right. Can you see my sewing under? So the next thing I will do is I will now push the flap under, then I will now stitch the right part on top of the zip. Can you see? If you don't push the flap under, that means that place will be closed. There will be no open when you open your zip. So I'll pin it up. After, I will now stitch it. I'm just stitching it to the other side of the zip. Please, whatever you don't understand in this tutorial, always let me know in the comment section. You are free to ask questions. And please, guys, remember to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so very much. So this is the part where I will now sew. Can you see? So I'm done with the flap. I think this is the main thing in making a trouser. So this is the back part of my trouser. I will stitch it. I will stitch the center back before I will now join it with the front part. We are almost done with our trouser. So this is the back. I've stitched my darts and the center back. So I'll go ahead and place the back part on top of the front part. So I will now join the crotch. I will stitch the crotch part first. So I'll pick one of the front parts, then stitch it with one leg of the back part. I'll stitch it down. I'll do the same thing to the other side, the two legs. Can you see? I first of all join the crotch, the under. After that, I will now join the hip side. I will join the hip side from the down parts of my trouser. Can you see? I will stitch. So this is my trouser band. So I cut about 4 inches width and 36 inches long. So I added hairstay to it. You already know how I create my band, both trouser band and the skirt. So I'll go ahead and stitch it to the trouser. Please don't stitch it from the beginning so that you'll be able to turn it. So you have to give like half an inch. Place it half an inch above where your trouser stops, so that you'll be able to fold it. So this is my belt holder. I'll place the belt holder on top. I'll place my band on top of the belt holder. So the belt holder will now be at the middle. So I cut about 7. So I'll stitch it both on the back part, the side parts, and from my center front I measured about 4.5 inches, just like my nipple to nipple. Can you see what it look like? So you see the front part. So this is why you are not supposed to join it from where your center front started, so that you'll be able to turn it and stitch on it. So you will now turn it, then use it and cover the zip, the front. So the zip head will now go inside. Can you see what I'm doing? So I will now close it. So make sure you push it inside, and while sewing, always stretch the inner parts, not too much, so that your band doesn't fold. So after that, the next thing I will do is now to stitch my belt holder on top of the band. Please guys, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Share this video so that others will see and view. Thank you so very much for all you do. Can you see what my trouser look like? This trouser is so beautiful. Very accurate. There's no bulge at the front. Everything is just in place. This is the picture of a corporate trouser. This is what a corporate trouser should look like. So we are done making our trouser. So the next thing now is to cut our shirt. So this is the shirt. I folded it once. It's on fold. So I'm taking neck depth of 1 inch. I'm cutting the back part of my shirt first. I'm taking neck depth of 1 inch and neck width of 3 inches. That's 3 inches by 1 inch for my back neckline. So I'm taking 8 inches for my shoulder. After that, I will take 9 inches. This 9 inches will serve as my chest line. Because it's shirt, my normal chest line is 8 inches. So the next measurement I will take will be my shirt length. I'm taking 28 inches length. So after that, I will come back to my half length. I will take 16.5 inches for my half length. Then I will take 9 inches for my chest line. I'm just connecting the line. I've already measured it before. So I'll connect the lines. So on my chest line, I will measure my shoulder measurement. I will take my shoulder measurement, which is 8 inches. Then from there, I will take my bust measurement, which is 38 divided by 2. Then I added 2 inches for both sewing allowance and for ease. You know, it's shirts, it's not supposed to be tight. So I will now come to my armhole line. I will divide it into 2. Then from there, I will connect my armhole curve. I will create my armhole curve. So on my half length, I will take my round under bust, which is 33 divided by 4. Then I'll added 2 inches for both sewing allowance and for ease. So I will connect it to my armhole. Then at the down part of my shirt, which is also the length of my shirt, I will take my hip measurement, which is 40 divided by 4. Then I also added 2 inches for both sewing allowance and for ease. So on my shoulder line, I came down by 1 inch, and that will serve as my shoulder slope. I will connect it to the neck width. Remember, I'm cutting the back part of my shirt first. So I'll go ahead and cut it. Can you see that? So I'll go ahead and place this back part on top of a fresh fabrics. So the one under now will serve as the front part of my shirt. So it's 3 inches wider than the back part because of the buttonhole stand and the button stand. So I will slash the front part. You know, shirts, the front part is always open. So this is 3 inches. I will make a notch at the down part too. So this line here is just to separate it from the main part of my shirt. So this is the wrong side. I will iron hasty on it. You can take the soft paper gum, but I normally use hasty though, and it works perfectly for me. So the part I'll be creating my buttonhole, I will do a double stay, while the part I'm going to fix the button, I will do just one. Can you see what I'm doing? I'm folding it 1 inch. I fold it twice. The first one was 1 inch and the second one the same thing. So I will iron the both sides. Please take note, whenever you're making a shirt for a female, always remember that the buttonhole part has to be the right part, while the button side has to be the left part. Please take note, just like when you're making a trouser too. The buttonhole part has to be the right part, while the bottom part has to be the left. So I'll go ahead and cut the sleeve of this shirt. I'm cutting the two sleeves together, so because of that I have to fold it twice. So I will take my cap height, which is 5.5 inches. You can take 4 inches, you can take 2 inches because it's shirt, but I just want this shirt, I want the sleeve this way, that's why I have to come down by 5.5 inches. So I want the sleeve to be in this particular way. So my cap height is from the tip of my shoulder to my underarm. So after that I measured 8 inches for my bicep, and the length of my sleeve is about 12 inches. Though I measured 15 inches here, but I later reduced it to 12 inches. So I'll go ahead and cut it. Can you see the sleeve? So I'll open it. So I'll indicate the middle. Can you see what I'm doing? This thing I'm doing, you do it both for the main body of the dress. So this is going to be at the front. This particular part of the sleeve now is going to be for the front. Just the way you measure the middle of your armhole, then you go in by 3/4 inch or 0.5 inch. So that's what I just did on the sleeve, so that it doesn't board, it doesn't see that board at the front part of your sleeve, the armhole area. So I'm done stitching the buttonhole stand and button. So the next thing I would do now is to go ahead and trim. So I'm taking 3x3 for my neckline, then 8 inches for my shoulder. So this is my last trimming.
You have to create your buttonhole stand and your button stand before you cut out your neckline and your shoulder for the front parts of your shirt. Please take notes.
So I have to take all my horizontal measurements. That's my bust circumference, my hip circumference, and my under bust, my round, just like that, because this is my final trimming. So I'll go ahead and cut. That's my armhole line, the middle of of my armhole line, I went in by 3/4 inch, then I connected it. The same thing I did at the sleeve, on the sleeve, sorry. You can only do this at the front part. This has no business with the back part. So because I want the down part of my shirt curved, so I went up by 3.5 inches from the side. So I will now trim it. You see that curve by the side. So I came up by 3.5 inches. If you want it so deep, you can do 5 inches or 4 inches. It all depends on what you want. Can you see the front part of my shirt? So I place the front part on top of the back, so I can give it the same trimming I gave to the front. They are now equal because I've already folded my buttonhole and button stand. So I'll go ahead and join the shoulder. I'll join the two shoulders. So this is my collar. My round neck is 18 inches. So the width of my collar is 5 inches. That's what I cut. So I folded 1/2 inch. So I'm taking 1 inch for my collar. Just watch what I'm doing. I placed a collar stay on it. Collar gum. So this is my collar stand. I will measure 16 inches. The main collar is longer than the collar stand. That's 16 inches. So from this part I came in by 0.75. Can you see that? Can you see what my collar look like? So after this, the next thing I will do is to pick a fresh pieces. Then I will stitch the collar stand on top. Please take note of the part I stitched. So I'll top stitch on the one that has no stay, that has no collar gum. I will stitch both the side, then turn it. Please make sure you iron very well. Remember to top stitch. So I will now place both the collar and the collar stand on top of a new fresh pieces. Then I will stitch. So I'll go ahead and fix my sleeve. After that, I will stitch the collar. So this is what my sleeve look like. I did a turn up. It's just very simple. Please guys, remember to like, share and subscribe. Please share this video so that others will see it and learn from it. So I will now stitch my collar to the neck of my shirt. Stitch the collar to the main body of the shirt. Just fold it, notch the middle. You do the same thing to the body of the cloth, to the main body, so that one side will not be longer than the other. Thank you so very much guys for watching this video. Thank you for all you do. Please stay connected, stay glued to this channel. Thanks and God bless you. Bye for now.